Singer Teddy Pendergrass is in critical condition right now in a Philadelphia hospital.
Now, recently, man, a woman came forward and sat down with Oprah Winfrey almost a year ago. And the title of that video is, What Really Happened in Teddy Pendergrass' Car?
I never really got a chance to tell my side of things, and it was important to me. It's very important to me. The car started speeding up really fast. And I was wondering, was he driving fast? But he wasn't. It was out of control. And I noticed he was struggling with the wheel.
But she definitely was not in the car in that Rolls Royce. They got mangled up. That you're watching right now. She was not the person that was in that.
Teddy Pendergrass started his career as the lead singer of Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes in the early 1970s. His deep, resonant voice quickly captivated audiences, leading to a successful solo career by the end of the decade. With hits like Turn Off the Lights and Come Go With Me, Teddy became a sensation, known for his electrifying performances and undeniable charisma.
Turn off the lights.
However, in March 1982, tragedy struck.
Singer Teddy Pendergrass is in critical condition right now in a Philadelphia hospital.
Teddy was involved in a horrific car accident that left him paralyzed from the waist down. The media frenzy that followed was relentless, but this was just the beginning of a series of unfortunate events that would plague his life. Following the accident, the media began to focus obsessively on Teddy's personal life, particularly his Stories emerged about him being involved with a trans woman named Tanika Watson at the time of the crash. In fact, in 2019, Tanika made startling claims on the Oprah Winfrey Show about her involvement in an infamous incident.
The car started speeding up really fast. And I was wondering, was he driving fast? But he wasn't. It was out of control. And I noticed he was struggling with the wheel.
However, Tanika's claims quickly unraveled under scrutiny. Critics pointed out inconsistencies in her story, questioning the veracity of her emotional testimony. It was alleged that Tanika's appearance on Oprah's show was orchestrated by the Pendergrass family, seemingly as a means of damage control to dispel long-standing rumors that had plagued Teddy's legacy. Contrary to Tanika's assertions, insiders and close sources revealed that the true person accompanying Teddy Pendergrass during the incident was not her, but someone entirely different, Turquoise Brown.
Now, this woman, Turquoise Brown, aka Turquoise Irvin, was of course the wife of Dr. J. And she was also the side chick of Teddy Pendergrass.
Known for her ties to the basketball legend Dr. J, Julius Erving, Turquoise Brown had a significant presence in Teddy Pendergrass's life, both publicly and privately. Turquoise Brown, formerly known as Turquoise Irvin, had been married to Dr. J for nearly 3 decades since their union in 1973. Her connection to Teddy Pendergrass extended beyond mere acquaintance. She was, in fact, the person in the car during the controversial incident, not Tanika as claimed on Oprah's show. Tanika's lies caused some confusion among fans, making them wonder if Oprah was suggesting foul play in Pendergrass's death, especially since the woman seemed to have been told to lie about the accident. Anyway, Teddy was involved in 2 more car accidents after the 1982 incident. Each time, the media latched onto these stories, further fueling the narrative that something was off about his life. It seemed almost too coincidental. Could someone have been behind these accidents? As if the accidents and media scrutiny weren't enough, Teddy was also implicated in the of his manager, Taz Lang, who was mysteriously shortly after rumored disputes over a contract. The details of their complicated relationship added another layer of intrigue and suspicion. Was Teddy Pendergrass simply a victim of bad luck, or was there something more nefarious at play? Some believe that Teddy knew too much about the darker side of the music industry and that Hollywood wanted to silence him. His multiple accidents, the relentless media campaign, and his link to M all point to a potential conspiracy. But despite the hardships, Teddy Pendergrass continued to perform and inspire.
So good loving somebody when somebody loves you back.
You see, Theodore Teddy Pendergrass was born on March 26, 1950, at Philadelphia's Thomas Jefferson Hospital, the only child of Jesse and Ida Geraldine Pendergrass. His birth was special, a gift from God, according to his mother, Ida. His parents had met and married in South Carolina in 1936 and had been together until Jesse was drafted to serve in World War II, separating them temporarily. During their short periods together, life was challenging, particularly for his mother. Teddy's exposure to the church environment sparked sparked his early interest in music. He began singing as early as age 2 and astonished church congregants at age 3 when he fluently sang the song, "If I Could Write a Letter to Heaven." Teddy's upbringing was marked by his mother's steadfast support, ensuring he never lacked care, nutrition, or luxurious activities like ice skating. Beyond this, his academic prowess was evident from his first day at McIntyre Elementary School, where he excelled with ease. Throughout his schooling years, his interest was heavily driven towards music classes, and he never missed being in the choir of the schools he attended. At his mother's workplace, which had heavy musical equipment, Teddy used the special privileges given to him to play the drums during off hours, fueling his growing passion for music even more. After some time, they relocated to an apartment that brought them close to the Uptown Theater, Philadelphia's R&B hub. Here, Teddy witnessed live performances by a number of great Motown artists, but it was Jackie Wilson's performance which sent female fans into a frenzy that decisively influenced his ambition to become a singer. Witnessing the adulation Wilson received, combined with his growing interest in girls, solidified his desire to pursue a career in music. As Teddy entered prime adolescence, he began to drift away from his faith. However, his passion for music remained steadfast. He continued to participate in school choirs, joining the Edison Master Singers at Thomas Alva Edison High School. Back home, living in a mixed neighborhood in Philadelphia during a time of heightened gang activity, Teddy found himself in a challenging environment. One evening, he witnessed a robbery committed by 2 young African-American gang members. When the police arrived, they wrongfully detained Teddy, mistaking him for one of the perpetrators. Despite the evidence in his favor, he was unjustly sentenced to 4 months at the Youth Study Center in Philadelphia. Despite these challenges, his commitment to earning an honest living, influenced by his strong Christian upbringing, remained unwavering. Even through the odd jobs, Teddy's ambition to become a singer persisted. He was always on the lookout for opportunities. In the process, he decided to take occasional gigs drumming at small local clubs and also formed the Paramounts with friends Tony Talent and Kenny Gamble. "His voice just roared over you," says writer and producer Huff. "He had that baritone voice. But Teddy was raw. I think Teddy really knew how good he was, but he started as a drummer who sang in the background. I remember saying, 'Gamble, this guy's got a sound.' They met G. Lawson, a talent scout who became their manager and promised them stardom. Teddy recorded singles like 'We Got Love,' 'Angel with Muddy Feet,' and 'Should I Go or Should I Stay?' But unfortunately, he never heard from Lawson again, nor did he receive the records. At 18, Teddy Pendergrass seized an opportunity in Atlantic City, a hub for vibrant clubs with non-stop live music. Working as a waiter at Reggie Edgehill's Supper Club, he stumbled upon a life-changing chance when Little Royal, a performer styled after James Brown, needed a new drummer. Teddy auditioned and impressively secured the job. However, dissatisfaction with financial arrangements led him to leave when the group toured Quebec and Canada and headed back home disappointed. Despite this setback, his determination remained unshaken. He joined a group called Signs of the Times as a drummer and later moved to the Soul Messengers. Eventually, he was hired by a group called the Cadillacs, where his journey took a significant turn. One night, while performing with them, Harold Melvin of the well-established Blue Notes recognized Teddy Pendergrass's talent. Seeking fresh talent for his group, Melvin offered Teddy a position as a drummer. This decision would soon propel Teddy's career in unforeseen ways. Working with Harold Melvin marked a pivotal moment in Teddy's career, as he often reflected on this period as the most significant in his professional life. He credited Harold with teaching him vital survival skills in the competitive show business world. At that time, the Blue Notes, though regularly booked, were not yet headliners. Their persistence and resilience, however, kept them going. Teddy, in particular, honed his drumming skills and started gaining recognition in the field. Despite their efforts, the absence of major hits meant performing in smaller venues, leading to financial struggles. There were days when they went hungry and had difficulty affording hotel rooms. Teddy, known for his impatience, dreamed of singing but found the opportunity far-fetched. As a drummer, he occasionally sang with the group, but grew frustrated with the lack of opportunities to lead. Overheard discussing his intention to quit with a club dancer, Harold Melvin, not wanting to lose him, offered Teddy a chance to join the singing group. Teddy accepted the offer eagerly. Teddy's addition to the singing lineup, sharing lead vocals with Harold, began to draw more recognition and shows. Though financial hardships persisted, their fortune turned in 1972 during a performance at the Apollo Club in Camden, New Jersey. There, they caught the attention of Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff from Philadelphia International Records.
Teddy Pendergrass was singing, and Huff called me later that day and said, "Man, you gotta hear this guy." He was just singing nonchalantly in the background.
Their interest in the group marked the beginning of a brighter future. Harold Melvin rebranded the group to Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes to assert his leadership and due to his envy towards the now fan favorite, Teddy Pendergrass. Under the new label, the group released their first single, I Miss You, in August 1972. The follow-up hit, If You Don't Know Me By Now, in September catapulted them to mainstream success, topping the U.S. R&B chart and reaching number 3 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. Teddy's success with Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes brought him fame, wealth, and an extravagant lifestyle aligning with his dreams. If there wasn't no Teddy, there wouldn't have been no Blue Notes, says singer Charles Mint, who recorded with Pendergrass in the mid-60s under the direction of Uplooks Lawson and producer Jesse Herring. And if there wasn't no Teddy, there wouldn't have been no big-time Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff either. However, the thrill was short-lived as he became increasingly frustrated within the group. Despite being the key factor in the group's flourishing career, Teddy felt undervalued and overshadowed by Harold Melvin. Harold's authoritative control and minimal contribution to the group's performances irked him. Teddy was aware of Harold's exploitative tendencies and grew increasingly disillusioned, particularly when Harold's arrogance cost them gigs. An incident at the Playboy Club in Los Angeles exemplified this. Harold's dispute with the club management led to the group shouldering their expenses for the week, while Harold luxuriated in comfort, leaving the rest struggling financially. When the group approached Teddy to request financial help from Harold, a confrontation ensued. Teddy found Harold with some of his well-heeled friends and hangers-on, laughing and joking while indulging in Teddy was furious at Harold's apparent disregard for their plight. He knew they were making money and Harold would pay them peanuts. To calm Teddy down, Harold went over to his bedroom to get him something. A curious Teddy followed him and peeked around the doorframe, only to witness Harold picking a stack of notes, presumably thousands of dollars.
And he said he took a $100 off of one of the stacks. He said he gave him $100. When my dad walked out the door that day, he said, I'm going on my own.
After that night, Teddy decided he had enough. He was not going to tolerate the exploitation any longer and made the decision to quit the group. News of Teddy Pendergrass's departure from Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes spread, causing the group's popularity to wane and leading to other members exiting to join Teddy. Despite threats of bodily harm from Harold Melvin, Teddy remained steadfast in his pursuit of a solo career. In need of a manager to navigate the business aspects of the music industry, Teddy turned to Taz Lang, a smart and successful businesswoman, and the ex-wife of Philadelphia Eagles fullback Izzy Lang. At the time, Taz was Teddy's girlfriend. Known for her connections with high-profile celebrities like Dionne Warwick and Nancy Wilson, Taz was admired by Teddy for her intellect and beauty. He moved into her Mount Airy home, a popular gathering place for celebrities. With their relationship flourishing, Teddy asked Taz for a $15,000 loan to support his Teddy Bear Productions company, offering her 10% of the royalties from his first album. She agreed, and despite their breakup 2 months later, Taz continued as his business manager, even negotiating a solo deal with Gamble and Huff. However, a startling discovery in the contract strained their professional relationship. Contrary to their agreement of Taz receiving 10% from only the first album, the contract entitled her to a perpetual 10% from all of Teddy's future albums and business earnings. Teddy's frustration mirrored his past experience with Harold Melvin, feeling trapped and exploited. Despite confronting Taz, she stood firm, unwilling to renegotiate or terminate the contract. Although they remained business partners, Teddy's trust in Taz wavered significantly, a stark contrast to his initial confidence in her protective instincts from exploitation within his inner circle. Taz did not leave with them and decided to go back home. She called her mother, Eva Ritter, and said, "I've got something to tell you, but I can't tell you what it is until I get there." That would be the last thing she said to her mother. On April 14, 1977, a tragic event occurred that profoundly affected Teddy Pendergrass's life. That night, Taz Lang was fatally shot outside her home while accompanied by Joseph Jojo Tinez, an employee of Teddy who was baffled by the sudden attack. The perpetrator emerged from nearby bushes and shot Taz her instantly while Jojo was getting something out of the car trunk. The crime remained unsolved and shrouded in mystery. "I said, what the hell does this mean because I'm here and cannot move," Jojo recalled. The police theorized that someone might have wanted to scare her, but instead her. Jojo Tinez, deeply troubled by the incident, carried the burden of that night until his death in 2013. Taz's funeral took place on April 19, 1977, at the Second Macedonia Baptist Church, with Reverend Jesse Jackson delivering delivering the eulogy. She was interred at Chelton Hills Cemetery in Philadelphia. At the funeral, Teddy faced suspicion and hostility, with some attendees believing he was involved in Taz's. Detective Edward Hughes said at the time, "If someone was set to kill her, it wasn't a real professional job. If the bullet doesn't go through her arm, all she has is a serious arm injury, but anything's possible, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone had been sent there to scare her." Theories abounded, implicating the Philadelphia Black Mafia and Philadelphia International Records, who were rumored to resent Lange's influence over Teddy's career. Speculation also arose about Teddy's rekindled connections with childhood friends who were now in the Mafia, believed to be a protective measure against Harold Melvin's threats. Taz Lange was known for her dedication to Teddy Bear Productions and her efforts to eliminate financial exploitation of Teddy. However, her role may have made her a target. Questions lingered. Did Teddy orchestrate the to retaliate against Taz for contract disputes? Was it a long con for Teddy to exploit her resources and then eliminate her as she died even before his first album was released? Or was it an opportunistic act by someone else, knowing the blame would likely fall on Teddy? The unresolved nature of the case suggests the involvement of powerful figures beyond Teddy. While speculation continued, Teddy, who also received threats, remained undeterred in pursuing his ambitions.
His statement to me at that point was that, Brinkley, you know, if I wanted to commit I couldn't.
A week after the tragic loss of Taz, Teddy Pendergrass made a powerful solo debut at New York City's Carnegie Hall, marking the start of a new chapter in his career. He soon released his self-titled album, which achieved platinum status, driven by the disco hit I Don't Love You Anymore and the top 20 R&B single The Whole Town's Laughing at Me. The album also featured popular tracks like You Can't Hide From Yourself, The More I Get, The More I Want, and If I Had. In 1978, Teddy's second album, Life is a Song Worth Singing, hit the shelves with standout singles like Only You and the chart-topping R&B hit Close the Door, cementing his image as a leading symbol in soul music. The album, which reached double platinum and topped the R&B charts, included hits like Get Up, Get Down, Get Funky, Get Loose, It Don't Hurt Now, and When Somebody Loves You Back. Teddy continued his success with the 1979 albums Teddy and Live Coast to Coast and the 1980 album TP, featuring the hit Love TKO, and a duet with Stephanie Mills, Feel the Fire, as well as the Ashford and Simpson composition Is It Still Good to You? From 1977 to 1981, Pendergrass achieved an unprecedented feat by releasing 5 consecutive platinum albums, setting a record for an R&B artist. His skyrocketing popularity led to sold-out concerts and the innovative women-only concerts organized by his manager, Shep Gordon. These concerts, where fans often threw lingerie on stage and received chocolate-covered teddy bear lollipops, significantly boosted his fame, earning him the nickname the Black Elvis. He even bought a 34-room mansion near Philadelphia, akin to Elvis's Graceland. By 1982, Teddy Pendergrass had firmly established himself as a top R&B artist, competing with legends like Marvin Gaye and surpassing peers like Barry White. His influence was evident in the R&B genre, inspiring responses from other artists such as the Isley Brothers with their hit Don't Say Goodnight, It's Time for Love, as a homage to his song Turn Off the Lights. Teddy Pendergrass's meteoric rise to fame brought with it an aura of invincibility and a touch of arrogance. He was living a life of luxury, owning horses, a private jet, a variety of high-end cars, and securing lucrative endorsement deals, including with liquor companies. He even launched his own fashion line, the Teddy Pendergrass Celebrity Jeans. However, his success and lifestyle inevitably attracted envy and enemies, not only from his industry achievements, but also from personal missteps. The legendary Rick James, a fellow artist managed by Shep Gordon, allegedly warned Teddy about his reckless behavior and hubris. Teddy's habit of engaging in affairs with other men's wives and his perceived self-importance were sources of conflict. Disputes arose with notable figures like the Isley Brothers, Bobby Womack's crew, and Marvin Gaye, who accused him of imitating his style and having an affair with his wife. Teddy's penchant for speeding often put him on the police radar, and he was a target for mobster extortion attempts. The jealousy and resentment from those he had wronged also created a constant threat to his safety. On one occasion, a woman he had wronged during a tour attempted to attack him with a knife backstage, a situation he narrowly escaped due to his quick reaction. This environment of envy and vengeance was a persistent shadow over his otherwise glittering career. On March 18, 1982, just before his 32nd birthday, Teddy Pendergrass experienced a life-altering event in Philadelphia's East Falls area. He recounts in his book, Truly Blessed, how this incident always haunted him. That evening, Teddy, the ladies' man, was at Club Ellen with a friend, Ietje, when they were approached by Tenica Watson, a person he vaguely remembered from the 70s. Unbeknownst to Teddy, Tenica, born John Watson, had transitioned to a woman in 1977 as she felt she was trapped in the wrong body. It is said that as the night was advancing and Ietje had to work the next day, Teddy offered to drop her off at her place and requested Tenica to tag along, promising to return her to the club later. Watson recalled, "He called me over to his car. It was a Rolls Royce. I thought he was a pimp because I wasn't used to people really having Rolls Royces. He said, 'I'm getting ready to leave too. Would you like a ride home?' So I said sure." After dropping off Etchie at her place and heading back to downtown Philadelphia along Lincoln Drive, known for its treacherous curves, his Rolls Royce's brakes failed and it crashed into a tree, paralyzing Teddy from the chest down. He had a fracture in his neck, which paralyzed his arms and legs. Tenica, interestingly, sustained only minor injuries, sparking various rumors and speculations among fans, including suspicions that she was part of a plot against him. Soon after the accident, Watson tried to reach out to Pendergrass, but she was unsuccessful. She said, "Well, you're not going to see him before his son does." And she caused this big scene, Watson said. "I just left." Investigations revealed that the car's brakes had been tampered with, leading Teddy to successfully sue Rolls-Royce. This raised questions about who would target him, considering his numerous enemies and his penchant for speeding. At the time of the accident, his driver's license had been suspended due to unpaid parking tickets, and it was later discovered that his other cars had also been tampered with. Just a week before the incident, he had been involved in a minor crash in his Maserati. Teddy believed the police might have been involved, having previously sued them for harassment. It goes without saying that the tragedy struck just as he was about to turn only 32 years old and had not even hit his peak. He was just on the verge of superstardom when it was all taken away from him. Did he fly too close to the sun and get his wings burnt off, just like the other greats at their peak? Or was it karma doing its thing for all the sins he had committed over the years? All we can do is speculate. The aftermath of Teddy Pendergrass's tragic accident in 1982 led to a profound transformation in his life. Struggling with depression and a loss of his previously unshakable confidence, he contemplated taking his own life. Adding to this, his fans had quickly moved on and shifted their attention to Marvin Gaye's new release, Healing. After a year of rehabilitation and coming to terms with his condition, Teddy made a comeback by signing with Elektra Asylum in 1983. His album Love Language achieved gold status in 1984, while Philadelphia International released 2 albums of his unreleased tracks, This One's For You in 1982 and Heaven Only Knows in 1983. Teddy's return to the spotlight was marked by a poignant performance at the 1985 Live Aid concert in Philadelphia, his first live appearance post-accident. The emotional performance included a rendition of Diana Ross's Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand alongside Ashford and Simpson in front of a live audience of over 99,000 and 1.5 billion TV viewers. "I am truly grateful to be here today, and I want you to know I feel your love," he said. That same year, he released the album Working It Back, but just when things looked like they were going back to normal, tragedy struck again. On July 3, 1986, Teddy was critically injured when the specially equipped van he was driving slammed into a telephone pole. He suffered internal bleeding and underwent abdominal surgery to determine the extent of his injuries. Despite these challenges, he continued to produce music with albums like Joy in 1988, whose title track went to #1 on the R&B charts for 2 weeks, and A Little More Magic in 1993. The latter half of the 90s found Pendergrass recording for the Surefire Wind-Up label. His autobiography, Truly Blessed, was published in 1991, but from then on, he mostly retreated from the public eye, heavily attributed to health issues. On June 5, 2009, Pendergrass underwent successful surgery for colon cancer and returned home to recover. A few weeks later, he returned to the hospital with respiratory issues. After 7 months, he sadly died of respiratory failure on January 13, 2010, with his wife Joan by his side at Bryn Mawr Hospital, aged 59. He was laid to rest at West Laurel Hill Cemetery in Bala Cynwyd, Pennsylvania. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.